Good morning. My name is Chris Caius. I'm president of the Kane County Forest Preserves, and I am calling this meeting for the Kane County Forest Preserve District to order on Tuesday, May 9th, 2023 at 9 a.m. Can we have a roll call for attendance, please?
Allen?
Allen present. Good morning.
Morning. Bates?
Bates here.
Berman?
Berman's here.
Doherty?
Already here.
Davist?
Davis here.
Ford?
Present.
Gums?
Gums here.
Iqbal? Iqbal?
He's downstairs. I saw him downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Got the candy bar machine.
Juby? Juby?
Juby here.
Mian?
Yes, here.
Caius?
Guys present.
Leonard?
Leonard here.
Lewis?
Louis here.
Linder?
Under here.
Molina?
Molina present.
Roth here.
Sanchez? Silva?
Silva's here.
Strathman. Strathman here. Surges,
Surge is present.
Tarver,
Tarver present.
Tepe, Williams,
Williams here.
Young.
Young here.
We have a quorum.
Then let's see, who was the last one in the room? Anita, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I wanted to make an entrance this morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Nice job. That was just slightly out of order, but I waited for you on that one.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. Is there any public comment? Are there any anyone in person, on the phone, or in writing? I don't believe we have anything, so dispense with that. Item number 5. May I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from April 11th, 2023.
Linda moves.
Moved by Linder,
Roth will second.
seconded by Roth. Don't sound so happy, Bill. My God. Okay, could we, any discussion, any changes on that? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums,
Thumbs, yes.
Iqbal, Juby,
Ruby, I.
Yes.
Caius,
Guys, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman. Strathman, yes. Surges,
Surge is yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Neppy, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Young.
Young, yes.
It's approved.
Motion passes. Item number 6, may I have a motion and a second to approve the bills and commissioners per diem for April 2023, moved by,
Gums,
second by Gums. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call, please.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford, Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal, Juby,
Ruby, I.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Guys, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linda, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman. Strathman, yes.
Surge is yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Neppy, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Young.
Okay, motion passed.
Yeah, but your mic is going in and out. It is.
Motion passes. We don't have any presentations this morning, so under administration, may I have a motion and a second for the resolution approving a change to the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund, IMRF, authorized agent for the district, moved by
Leonard
Allen
moves.
moves.
Leonard, seconded by, sorry, I missed this.
Allen,
Allen. Great, thanks, Miss Allen. And we have our Executive Director, Ben Habither, will work this one.
Yes, I'm very happy to bring this one before you. We have been without a Director of Human Resources since December of 22. We only have one IMRF authorized agent at a time. In the interim period, it has been me. I'm very happy to hand that back over to our new Director of Human Resources, Jennifer Clough. Jen is in the audience today. She's joining us most recently from City of Evanston. She started last Monday. Things are going great, and we're glad to have her here.
Thanks, Jen. Great. Now we'll see if we'll approve of you. No, you're in. You're already in. Please.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums, Iqbal, Juby,
Ruby, I.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linda, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman. Strathman, yes. Surges,
Burgess, yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Pepe,
Deppie, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Young.
Young, yes.
It's approved.
Motion passes. Excuse me. May I have a motion under agreements? May I have a motion and a second for the resolution authorizing a grant of easement agreement with the Village of South Elgin for the water main utility under the Illinois Prairie Path connecting the South Point subdivision and the South Point townhomes. Moved by Kenyon,
Berman, second.
second by Berman. And we have our Director of Planning, Jennifer Brooks Lopez, this morning.
Good morning, everyone. What we're reviewing this morning is a request from the Village of South Elgin for a permanent utility easement for the installation, operation, maintenance of a public water main underneath the Illinois Prairie Path that would connect the South Point subdivision and the Park Point townhomes. The purpose of the easement is to create a looped water system to provide improved water pressure and flow for fire protection infrastructure. So the two subdivisions right now, that connecting the two with a looped structure for their water mains would improve that pressure. So this is something the Village of South Elgin has been working on for a number of years. And at this point, they've reached out to us for a permanent easement. That easement would be about 20 feet wide and about 100 feet long. When the water structure is put in, it will be directionally bored underneath the pathway, so there will be no closure to the prairie path during the time. And at this point, staff is looking for a recommendation for approval.
Okay, great. Was there any questions for Jennifer? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums, Iqbal, Juby,
Juby, I.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Guys, yes?
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman. Strathman, yes. Surges,
Surges, yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Pepe,
Deppie, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Young.
Young, yes.
Approved.
Motion passes under bids and proposals. May I have a motion and a second for the resolution approving bids for pavement projects at Dick Young and Muirhead Springs Forest Preserve? Moved by Strathman, second by
Berman.
Berman. And we have an ops guy here, Jeremy Jensen from South Ops, our director down there. Nice to have you here. You're going to be telling us a little bit about this, yes?
Yep,
Go
good
right
morning.
ahead.
So I'm here to provide the committee with information to consider the approval for awarding
Hey,
a bid.
Jeremy, move that mic a little,
Sorry.
so just so we get, make sure you get it.
Is that better?
We do want to hear you, yes. Thank
All
you.
right, perfect. So good morning. I'm here to provide the committee with information to consider the approval for approval of an award for the Dick Young Forest Preserve parking lot repaving and the Muirhead Springs facility, maintenance facility parking lot. Both projects were identified as priorities through the 22-23 budgeting process. The Dick Young parking lot is off of the Nelson Lake roadside. We did the base bid with an additional alternate to pave the path connecting the parking lot to the shelter and bathroom that will maintain our ADA compliance. The Muirhead Springs facility yard is the third of three installations replacing the gravel with asphalt. This will complete the entirety of that project. The bid was sent to 49 vendors with 8 responding. Champion Paving Corporation out of Hampshire, Illinois was the lowest qualified bidder for Dick Young with a combined base bid and alternate in the amount of $59,992.57. Obsidian Paving out of West Chicago was the lowest qualified bidder for the Muirhead Springs Forest Preserve with a base bid of $81,068. Staff is also recommending an 8% contingency to cover any unforeseen and additional costs that may arise. Funds totaling $80,000 were budgeted in the fiscal year 22-23 for the Dick Young parking lot resurfacing under the 03-21-24 70-50 line item. And they are available to cover the total of $64,791.98, which includes the $4,799.41 contingency. Funds totaling $88,000 were also budgeted for the Muirhead Springs Yard. $88,000 is available in 03, 21, 24, 70, 50, and are available to cover the expense of $87,553.44. That also includes the $6,485.44 contingency. Staff recommends the committee approval for the bid for Champion Paving for the Dick Young Forest Preserve project in a total not to exceed $64,791.98. And also for Obsidian Paving of West Chicago for the Muirhead Springs project for a total not to exceed $87,553.44.
Okay, any questions for Jeremy this morning? Okay, not hearing none. Roll call, please.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Guys, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Luce, yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman. Strathman, yes. Surges,
Burgess, yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Young,
Young, yes.
approved.
Great. Motion passes. And thanks, Jeremy. Good presentation. Also like to recognize Jenny Estes back. She could way back there. She's our North Ops person. So those of you that are new to the board, she's the one out there directing the north end of the county to get stuff done, and Jeremy does the south end. Is that right? Yeah, right. And they do a great job. Thank you for being with us.
Oh, North End.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Go south.
I know.
I know.
About time someone picked up on this.
It's like, whoa.
We are ahead, aren't we? Isn't this a contest? Oh,
We used to do east-west, but you know, I'm north, south, whatever.
yeah. Fighting here. Come on. We're in our happy place. Under ordinances, may I have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance for the annual budget appropriation fiscal year 2023-2024. Moved
Berman
by
moves.
Berman, second by
Roth seconds.
Roth. And we have Dave Patchke, our financial director.
Morning, everyone. Presented before you today is the budget appropriation ordinance for the 23-24 fiscal year. Wanted to take a quick second to thank all the staff involved in this process. It started in early December and is wrapping up today for your approval. They again kept tight controls over expenditures within this year's budget as they have in the past. I also wanted to give a quick thank you to President Caius and Finance Chair Berman. They met with us in late March to go over line by line with both Ben and myself, line by line through this budget and every fund. So thank you for your time. Presented here in this memo, there's highlights within the general fund for revenues and expenditures, and also some highlights within the construction development fund I'll go through. And then I'm happy to answer any other questions within any other line item that you'd like to go over. So starting in the general fund, property taxes increased by $448,904, and that was due to approving the new construction component and CPI increase for property taxes. The sale of material decreased by $112,500, and this was due to on the revenue side, we sold vehicles last year. It was 9 vehicles that were sold between natural resources and operations. Included in last year's budget for revenues and continuing on this year is the sale of vehicles for police. There's 7 police trucks that we're still budgeting for. We haven't received yet, but as soon as we receive those will go on auction, and those are included in the revenues for this fiscal year. The golf courses, there's a decrease budgeted in the general fund of $112,500, and this is moving Settlers Hill Golf Course over to the construction and development fund. This is kind of a continuation of what we've done last year, moving Hughes Creek revenues over to construction development as well, becoming less dependent on those revenue sources within the general fund, moving those over to the construction development fund. State replacement tax based on Illinois Municipal League guidance, we increased by $40,601. Expenses to note within the general fund, there was a 4.5% merit increase for performance reviews for staff. To qualify for the 4.5% increase, those staff have to receive a rating of exceed on their performance review. So there will be a range awarded. Those employees who are eligible, though, would receive up to that 4.5%. Moving on, there are 5 new positions that were budgeted this year, 4 full-time positions between natural resources, operations, and community affairs. Those are funded by the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund early retirement incentives that occurred last year. There's also a part-time stewardess specialist that's budgeted this year, and that's reporting to the Human Resources Department as well. There are vehicles and trailers budgeted of a total of $530,727. The breakdown of those primarily is 7 public safety trucks that were budgeted, as well as the continuation of a lease with Enterprise for natural resources and operations for a total of 9 vehicles that were leased. There's also 3 additional trucks that were budgeted outside of the Enterprise program. Machinery and equipment, there's a grand total of $258,600 budgeted within the fiscal year. This is a combination of a few different purchases here, but primarily there was 1 new tractor for $85,000 budgeted, which was for operations. There was 3 zero-turn mowers for a grand total of $59,700. And there were 2 new utility vehicles for $44,600. 1 of those for operations and 1 for natural resources. And there was also a Fecon brush bowl attachment for $38,000 budgeted for natural resources. The remainder of this total budget is for smaller machinery and equipment that was budgeted. And then moving on to the construction development fund, I just want to point out there was a total of $4.2 million of new projects or additional funding to projects within this fiscal year in the construction development fund. Kind of in priority of the largest expenses, the first one is the Mill Creek Greenway Forest Preserve, new public access and trail connection, which was a $1.2 million project. And as I go through these, I just want to point out the diligence of staff to seek out grants to fund these expenditures. This $1.2 million grant, there was a $600,000, the $1.2 million project, there's $600,000 funded by the OSLAD grant. The Fabian Windmill Protection Improvement, it was a $1 million project. Again, $700,000 was funded by DCO grant. And the Big Rock Forest Preserve Limestone Trail Resurfacing, $300,000 project, $200,000 of that will be funded by the RTP grant. So additional expenses within this fund, there's a comprehensive master plan of $200,000 that was budgeted. And then also a Fiddlehead Woodland Restoration project of $180,000. So I wanted to point out that within our budget, we increased the budget appropriation ordinance by 10%. This is for any unexpected expenses that might come up and just make sure the district complies with the state statutes as far as expenditures we're allowed to make. So staff is recommending that the committee approve the proposed budget and appropriation ordinance is presented. I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Okay, any questions for David? Mr. Leonard?
Thank you, Mr. President. I've got one question for you. I didn't look this up. I should have, but with the early retirement program that we implemented, what was the annual savings on that? And then what was the cost of the 5 new employees annually?
That is a very good question. I don't have, actually, maybe I do. Hang on 1 second here. Let's see if I have them. So as we're still filling positions, there has been a lot of promotions. So some of those savings are still being calculated to date. Bear with me here. So the total ERI savings, this is including IMRF savings, Social Security savings, and the salaries, was a grand total of $304,629.35. And the positions that we're filling would utilize those savings.
So it's a wash, pretty much.
Yeah, that's the plan, is that it would be a wash, that any of those savings from senior staff that had retired, we would be able to bring on new staff to replace them, but also additional staff to help the operations of the Forest Preserve.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thanks, Bill. Any question? Mr. Surges has a question or comment?
Couple of questions, three. On the grants that you received, do you use a grant writer that's in the employee, or is that an outside vendor?
So we're doing it all in-house with staff right now. So we
Okay.
used to have a part-time grant consultant, Laura Ross, but since she is retired, she was not replaced. So that DCEO grant was written by our landscape architect under our chief of land management's guidance. Same with the OSLAD and, or I'm sorry, the DCEO, RTP and OSLAD were written by Zach and Jen. DCEO was written by Lori.
So even without that person, Ben, we've been successful.
Yes,
Doing that.
yeah.
And
We
bravo.
could be more successful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
we
bravo.
are
Yes.
covering it in-house. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't mean that comment, that question to be derogatory. That's
sure.
exceptional.
Yeah.
In the early retirement, are we a 1-for-1 replacement there, or do we have more new people? In addition, what's the scale? Was
It's
that
an increase in total
I don't
staff.
think it's a wash. The total staff
Right,
increased.
from
correct?
76 to 80 and a half.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I meant to, as a wash, it's the amount of money.
I agree.
Four
I
more
just wanted to make
people,
sure
same
that
amount of money. Yeah.
I think the exercise was meant to, and was that fruitful? And while I believe at the minute in time, and I understand this is Forest Preserve, but we had Forest Preserve, Sheriff's Office, and County all looking at that. And I just want to see what the objectives were versus what the results have been. And in this particular case, financial wash, increase in staff.
Right.
Bravo, again.
Right, and that has been, with my conversations with President Caius, that has been the intent with former administration that was here. That's what was promised from the ERI, and so that's what we've delivered.
Beautifully. And then, I don't mean this statement to be controversial, but I'm just trying to. A few years back, we sat in the huddle in the planning stages, and I think we've identified, and I don't think this is a newsflash, that while the referendums have been enormously successful in terms of land acquisition, there is a flip side to that same coin that says, while we've bought all this, we don't necessarily have the operational expense to keep up with all these properties. And it seems like we have a lot going on, but some of the heavy lifting has been supplemented with grant processes. How are we, do we have a multi-phase that we're working toward? We know that when the grant money runs out and we're done purchasing, we know that this is where we need to be, and are we working our way toward that, or are we on schedule, or are we?
Yes, so we are very lean.
Okay.
So it's being addressed in this budget. With the main things are the comprehensive master plan. We haven't done one since 2015. So there's right there's $200,000 where we'll get a third party to start planning that out a little more. There is no kind of set percentage. We're limited to 50,000 acres by the Downstate Forest Preserve Act, but that's not necessarily what the goal has been with current staffing. And the other thing is there's $25,000 in this budget for compensation and classification. Our new HR director has a lot of experience in that. So starting in, we'll be going out for proposals here next month, implementing that plan in this summer. So by fall, it should be coming back before the commission on kind of some options for staffing and where to go from here. With the large land mass and a very small staff.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And thanks for all you guys do.
Good job. Good presentation. Any other questions for David? Then roll call, please.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Davist,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums,
Comes, yes.
Iqbal,
Ford, yes.
Juby,
I.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Guys, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Sturgis, Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Pepe,
Tempe, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Young,
Young, yes.
approved.
Motion passes. And on there there's no new business unless someone has something I missed there. No, no new business and no, unfortunately, no need for a closed session. Gee. We have communications. That'd be Lori Matenchuk, our Director of Communication,
You,
or whatever your official title is. I think it's too long for you to remember from time.
Director of Community Affairs and Environmental Education.
That was the one. Yeah, there you go.
So we had a very busy April, as you all know. On 4/22, we celebrated Earth Day at Tecawitha Woods Forest Preserve in St. Charles. Brittany's got some photos of that event. We had close to 600 volunteers, which is amazing, to plant a combination of 500 oak trees and various shrubs. And we always promote this event as show up at, I think it starts at 9, show up at 9 o'clock sharp, because we will plant until noon or when we run out of trees, and we always run out of trees and shrubs. So we got all of them in the ground within, I think, 45 minutes after we started. So it was a great day. Thank you to all of our volunteers, of course, our staff who showed up either to work or to volunteer and plant with their families, as well as the Red Gate Jazz Trio, who in the freezing cold and rain played during our event to entertain us. As well as to State Senator Don DeWitt, who came out and planted trees with us. So great day out at Tecawitha. The next thing we had on 4/29 at Leroy Oaks Forest Preserve was our native plant sale, which is run by the Kane Forest Preserve Foundation. That was also a great event, despite the weather. We sold 6,000 plants out of 6,300 that we purchased. We raised close to $20,000, and that money will go to invested mounted viewing scopes in a number of preserves. We had 26 Commonwealth Edison volunteers come out and help us unload the truck and organize plants on the setup day. I had a ton of staff help for that event. I can't thank them enough. Especially those in the pouring rain who were running pre-sale orders out to cars. It was just, it was a great day. So super grateful for all the help, and staff is meeting today to talk about ways to improve on this event for next year. We will be at the Aurora Green Fest this Saturday. The Forest Preserve will have a table there. Rob will be doing the first part of the day, and then I think I'm doing the second part. We had talked earlier in this meeting about ERI positions, and one of those thankfully is in my department. I have a new marketing assistant. Lauren Swanson's in the audience, and we were able to poach her from the Natural Resources Department. So sorry, Pat. But we are grateful to have her, and she'll be helping out with all things marketing in the preserves and taking pictures and social media. So if you see Lauren, say hello. And then the last thing I have is Thursday, President Caius will be throwing out the first pitch at the Kane County Cougars game. And so if you want to attend, talk to Gabby, and then I think Ben has more on that.
Been working on that arm.
You'll need to.
Okay, great. Thanks.
You could always bounce it.
No,
Oh.
you're all invited to come watch. The president embarrassing himself.
But nobody's gonna laugh.
The grandkids love to laugh at me the way I throw. Okay, thank you, Lori. Very interesting report. And just remind everybody that there's a whole bunch of or I'll put that in part of the president's comments, which is that on our agenda, which if you're new and you have missed that up to this point, on this agenda, page 90 to 112 has a list of all of the information in writing with a lot of pictures you've seen. And it's always a good go-to for what's happening in the Forest Preserve, which is we can't fit it into this and still have a 45-minute meeting. So all of the good stuff that our staff is doing, including our North Ops, South Ops, all of the activities for education and tree planting. As part of President's comments, I just spent the weekend back in Spokane, Washington, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, to visit family. And it's some of the most beautiful country in the world, which is where I'm from originally, that area. But I'm, excuse me, I'm so proud when I go out and able to explain to my family what we are doing out here. We are really blessed to be here in this county. with all the assets we have. Man, oh man, where did that come from?
Well done, Chris.
We're blessed.
You're
So,
here.
yes, on that one, may I have a motion and a second to replace those reports? Monthly reports on file, moved by Ford, second by
Berman.
Berman. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, I.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Guys, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez, Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Sturgis, Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Young,
Young, yes.
approved.
Motion passes. And finally, may I have a motion and a second to adjourn? Mr. Kenyon moves, second by Berman. And all in favor. Thank you
Aye.
for being here.